measure up. So I think Fiona will see a lot of use both with Nellie or with that journalist upgrade. Like, because imagine being able to take just... being able to throw Fiona where she can play scheme markers, anything where there's a scheme marker game where you want them in their face, she is potentially useful. So she's 8 points. Yeah. So she's living but not a construct. So that faceplate she has doesn't make her a construct.
Yeah, it's very deceptive.
Nothing else is. A lot of people were disappointed. Although in the end, I think it's just the fact that her only cybernetics are on her head. Like, she doesn't have any cybernetic arms or legs.
So
Pretty good stat line.
Her stat line's really good, actually. Defense 6, willpower 6, 8 wounds, walk 5, charge 8, a height 2.
Haha, she can keep up with the cavalry.
And she can keep up with... Oh yeah, you can pull her up with the cavalry.
Yeah, cavalry can bring
cavalry
her along.
charge. So one of her abilities is it's me, you're fine. Once per turn, after an enemy model engaged with this model fails a willpower duel, outside this model's activation, this model may make a melee attack action against it after resolving the current action. So that, going back to Nellie, like, okay, I'm going to...
Nellie only targets your willpower.
Yeah, okay, Scathing, I'm going to give you Scathing Review. Cast 7.
Or even, imagine, hold on, how does hers worded? Once per turn, enemy model...
So it's only once per turn. It's only once.
Okay, so take Nellie. You use propaganda. They fail. You push them into Fiona's range. You pay the evidence to take the trigger to give her an attack. She takes an attack. Then they fail the willpower, and they're now within range of her melee because this isn't worded where it has a range. So they don't have to be inside her range when they fail it. They just have to be inside the range when it's time for her to make her melee attack.
Oh, wow.
So they could fail it 5 inches away, get pushed 5 inches towards her. Technically, I think they could fail it 7 inches away, get pushed into her engagement, and she gets an attack against them after the push.
Oh my god.
Or like you said, if they're already in range, you can just scathing review them.
Yeah.
And now they're engaged, so they can't interact a drop, which means they can't easily get rid of scathing review. And they failed, so Fiona gets to attack them. So... Right, so she obviously has synergy with all of the journalists.
And then she has a built-in tome into her melee attack, and if you put journalists on her...
So if that other one, she has it built in to drop scheme markers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then those friendly scheme markers for Nellie.
She has a few things that could potentially use them, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's a great bodyguard for Nellie, too, because I attack it, force you to drop. And, like, all of the journalists... have something that attacks willpower, if I remember right. Yeah. They all have something to attack willpower. So anytime you would take Allison Dade or a field reporter, Fiona is potentially useful.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, there aren't that many other guild things, although, oh no, that doesn't work. I was thinking the Death Marshals, but if you box somebody, they're no longer on the field for Fiona to attack. But there's not that many that targeted before this wave. But now in this wave, there's a ton. Lawyers. Yeah. Lawyers. Her and lawyers team up pretty well.
Oh, and the condition thing, too. Because lawyers are going to give out poison and burning, if I'm correct.
Poison. All of their attacks have a trigger to give out poison.
Oh, okay.
Or both, both of their main attacks.
That's the only thing I'm thinking of that,
Yeah, but still, yeah, exactly. Lawyers have their own weird... You can take your own little guild delegation and have just something like Fiona and maybe one other big thing... just as their bodyguards.
Oh my god. I'm thinking of a really good combo right now. So you run Performers with Nellie.
Okay.
Then you run Guild Lawyers.
Oh, now we're looking into Guild Poison List.
Yeah.
McMorning's jealous.
Yeah.
Actually, no. It kind of works with McMorning now.
Yeah.
Because lawyers and... what else? Oh, yeah. Performers and lawyers can both give out and expunge.
I mean, probably somebody's already thought of it.
But anyways, yeah, if you had some reason to take them as is, and yeah,
and
so
then the expunging with back to Fiona.
So it's me you're fighting to get extra attacks.
Yeah, there's the unimpeded, which is
So pretty mobile. Walk 5 unimpeded.
Hard to kill, which we all know. I mean, as a 10 Thunder player, hard to kill is awesome. While this model's base is touching severe or impassable terrain, it gains +1 defense. Wow! So okay, I'm just gonna be
not only
barely touching this, and
not only is she unimpeded, but she walks into that forest or on top of that rubble, and she's now defense 7.
Which is phenomenal. Oh, if anybody that plays 10 Thunder Brothers.
Actually, while we're talking about terrain stuff, I think her upgrade is related to that. She has a personal upgrade, Wrath of the Guild. This model gains positive damage flips when attacking models that have already activated. Okay, not exactly what I meant, but so that's her upgrade. Will give her positive flips to models that have already activated too.
Okay, I mean,
and that's kind of a front of card thing if you buy it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for if something runs up to Nelly. Now it's activated. Nelly says, "I push you into Fiona." Now not only does Fiona get free attacks, but they're at a positive because that model's activated.
And I can, and if I'm a journalist, I'm gonna be baking ski markers.
Right, and same thing if something goes after your stuff and you countercharge. Well, it's activated, so now she has her bonus. It kind of makes her an even better bodyguard, a better reaction piece.
Yeah, and so she's
not to mention, you know how you can pass the turn with Nelly? Well, that means more enemy models have activated before.
And then Fiona Cage can get in there and get those positive flips.
Yeah, and it's just attacks, I think, not damage.
Which would be awesome.
No, not to attacks, just to damage.
Oh, so just and she's melee 6 too, so.
Melee 6. So, and her damage is pretty impressive, 3, 4, 5. So not bad.
3, 4, 5, and the tactical gives a positive against models that have already.
So that's what it is. She has a built-in positive
and a built-in positive for
and then her upgrade also gives her the damage.
That's really good. Oh, and the damage and their damage spread is so nice. Min 3.
Min 3 is always a sticking point.
Yeah.
Now her max 5 is, there's things that are more. 6 is fairly common, but she has a really consistent damage spread. So you can rely on her to do 3 or 4 damage to most things.
Oh man! And then so now we're gonna go into her triggers. Head trauma. After damaging, the target gains the following condition until end of turn. Head trauma. This model suffers -2 willpower tools. So you can damage it. Is that till?
It's end of turn.
It's end of turn. Okay.
So if there's something, you can have Fiona run up to something, and if she gets head trauma on it and Nelly hasn't gone, Nelly can activate and push it around even more.
Yeah, and put in theory you can
can't defend themselves.
You can give it both the seating review and do the propaganda.
Yeah, it just depends what you need to do on that model.
And those being at negative flips.
Right, you're basically defenseless. If you have a negative flip on your defense or willpower, you're defenseless against the stat.
Yeah.
So she really messes things up if she gets head trauma against them. And then, and she has neither of these built in. So on a crow, there's head trauma, and on a ram, wild swing.
And, hey, we were talking about how, Nelly doesn't really need too many suits. And, she can use those, okay, I'm going to stone for a crow.
Right. And so on a ram, she's got wild swing. After damaging, make this attack again against another model that was not targeted by this attack during this activation. This trigger may only be declared during this model's activation. So
you can't do it when you're...
If somebody else triggers it's me you're fighting, you can't take wild swing.
You're right.
Which would be kind of crazy, because you could hit something, wild swing, hit something new, and you hit everything in range after being triggered once.
You could tell that there was a lot of play testing when it came to Fiona.
Well, I mean, all of this, they've definitely thought of that, how, alright, that one needs to be where this can't be used, but then wild swing, it's kind of weird with wild swing, because if you attack something, and then you wild swing into something else, neither of them can be eligible for a wild swing trigger later.
Yes.
It's kind of a weird way that works out. So wild swing is probably just going to get you 1 or 2 extra attacks.
But she's probably already going to get a lot of attacks. I mean, if you're pushing stuff constantly into her.
And it's one of those, I kind of see her as a area control because she's not really like I'm going to make sure that thing's dead. It's I'm going to be here to support other stuff. Because if anybody can trigger willpowers near her, extra attack.
Yeah, she's
Head
not
trauma
she's
to
not,
give out
she's
other-
not a pure. She's not like a. All right, I'm just gonna throw it in, and
Yeah,
things are just going to die.
She's fast enough to charge in and kill some scheme runners and enough damage to consistently do it, but. And then she's got, this is the other. Command and Stone is great. So you need a 6 of anything. Casting 6, target number 12. Place one 50mm stone pillar in base contact with this model. Not in base contact with any other models. It's a height 5 blocking impassable hard cover. Remove the stone pillar at the start of this model's next activation or when it leaves play. May only be taken once per turn. Now, she can make her own impassable terrain that she starts in base contact with for all of her abilities.
Oh my god! Oh shit! And then, in theory, she can be like, all right, you've got your huge gun line right there? Well, here's a 50mm stone marker.
Now, she only gets one, but she could walk up, put it in a key spot, and now she's defense 7 and she has hard cover if you draw a line of sight through it at all.
Yeah.
Now, she is a 40mm base, so she's not that easy to hide.
Oh, she's 40? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought she was 30.
I would have thought so too, but I just looked at it because I'm thinking, how easy is it to hide behind this pillar? It's not as easy as it could be, but I basically stand by it's probably not really her job to hide that much. Not to mention, as long as you're getting the hardcover aspect, she's going to be pretty much immovable.
And hard to kill, with hard to kill, so you'd have...
8 wounds, hard to kill,
Defense
so...
7. Ooh, that's probably going to save her a lot. And it's only you only need a 6 to cast it, which is not that high of a casting.
Yeah, and then she's got Lookout, and that's the other is if you need somebody who's going to sit there and get models sent to them or play scheme markers, and you could use the cover, like if she's one of those models, she kind of reminds me of the Captain in some ways in that if you need her whole package, she's amazing.
Yeah.
But if you don't, she starts being a little overcosted for individual things.
So do you think of her? I think she's probably gonna. She's probably almost. She's not. I don't think she's a for sure must.
I think she's gonna show up in most Nelly lists.
Yeah, in most Nelly lists, but in like.
I'm not sure who else would really.
In a Dita crew, no. In a
family is just better. Most of the time.
I don't think I don't see her in anything else.
Although it would be interesting to have Perdita use Obey on somebody and send them into Fiona.
Oh god.
Hey you. But yeah, I don't see it happening very often unless you're going for that dropping scheme markers, her ability to drop scheme markers. Yeah. But most of the time, you're better off taking an Austringer for 6 points and letting them give out interacts.
Yeah.
Then she has Lookout.
So why don't you give it a read?
Sure. So casting 6, target number 11, so you need a 5, range 8. This action may not be taken if this model is engaged. Target enemy model that is engaged with another friendly model. Place this model into base contact with the target and push other friendly models 4 inches away from the target. Then this model takes a 1 attack action. So it's a lot like Francisco's where he leaps in and everybody else pushes out.
Oh.
Except it's actually almost better because she gets to leap in and get an attack action.
Oh, and then pushes everyone.
But she has to target an engaged enemy. She pushes everyone out.
So there's all these conditions.
And she has to not be engaged. Like, I think Frank can do it even if he's already engaged. But, yeah, so, again, if you try to engage the other journalists, she's just going to be like, no, stop that.
Like, boom, push them out of the way. And then,
And here's the crazy thing. She could use this 1 Lookout. She does her thing. She attacks them. Then she drops a stone pillar.
Yes.
As her other 1 action.
Or she...
Sure, she doesn't get a whole lot of attacks against them, but she's now engaged them. She's unengaged your other stuff. She has a stone pillar for defense 7.
So let's say, like, I'm actually thinking of a really cool situation with her. So, you go in, you've done, let's say you take Nelly's upgrade where you can delay activation. You save her for last. Let's say you had plant explosives. Alright, you charge her in, you stone for an extra a tome with her melee attack.
No, you don't even need it. That's built in.
Oh, no, but you would do it for a tome. And then you would... is it per tome you get the...
I don't think it's per tome. I think it's...
Oh, okay.
It's if you... So it's tome transparency. After succeeding, place a scheme.
Okay, so you can't do that.
So, however, right, if you're able to get even just 2 attacks.
Yeah.
As long as you get those markers close enough to 3 models. Yeah. Not to mention, you've already got... I know field reporters can drop scheme markers pretty readily. I'm trying to remember. Any scheme marker?
You're gonna get some water. Yeah, my mouth is getting...
But even as long as you've got... Like, that's one of the things with planned explosives, or the new detonate charges. You need at least 2 scheme markers. So if you've got one sitting somewhere else, like...
You give her fast.
Nellie's got a few ways to drop them. You know, she's like, you gain fast, drop a scheme marker next to you. That's one. And then Fiona Gage charges in, she drops some more. And you're right, if you delayed her till the end, suddenly you've guaranteed 3 points from planned explosives.
Yep. Oh, so good. Alright, so we hit all the points with her.
Yep. And
Fiona,
even her upgrade, which
I think
be auto, but
yeah, I mean, upgrade might be auto, but I think Fiona is a very good. If you take her in a Nelly crew, I think that's where you get most of your mileage out of her.
She's clearly designed to be very good with Nelly.
Yeah.
And decent with other people.
Yeah, with decent other master, I think she probably wanted to be a top priority in other crews.
She's an interesting bodyguard for anybody because of her lookout and command in stone. Just lets her do some good defensive stuff.
Yeah, and be able to, and also
Of course, the question is, Frank can do similar things, and he has El Mayor.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like Francisco, Fiona, and I think they're both 8 points.
They're both 8 points, yeah.
So, right. It's a tough choice.
Yeah, I remember people already talking about, like, oh, I'm going to take Francisco with Nelly, make her defense 8. Okay.
Defense, willpower 8, yeah.
Yeah. So let's transition into the other journalist.
Allison Dade.
Allison Dade.
So a lot of you out there, anybody who's played Defense of the Innocents will recognize her. And if you haven't played Defense of the Innocents, ignore this.
I'm with you guys. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
So she in Through the Breach, one of them, that's where this character originally comes from.
Oh, we did it. Okay.
You just don't remember.
I just don't remember. Okay.
So the very first person you meet, or the very first person you're like looking for, is this reporter who's gone missing.
Okay.
And you go through a short thing to go find her, and she's like, "We have to expose everybody." And
yeah, she was one of the. Oh, nifty, cool.
So she's that journalist you rescued at the beginning. Although looking at her stats now, I'm not sure why she needed rescue.
Yeah.
No, actually, her attack isn't.
All of the reports have really nice stats. Or at least the henchmen.
Oh,
willpower, defense, willpower 6, 8 wounds, a walk of 5. A charge of 6 and height 2, and she's a journalist, henchman, living, rare 1.
She's also cost 8, just like
cost
Fiona.
8, same thing as Fiona, and the same cash. So she has Muckraker. If this model has not yet activated this turn, an enemy model within 4 that declares an attack action immediately suffers 1 damage.
So if she hasn't activated, she's got this aura to hurt you if you attack.
So,
then, this is great.
Yellow journalism. If this model has already activated this turn, other friendly models within 4 heal. Wait, this. Okay.
After the determined success of the attack action, which.
So
if she hasn't. Okay, if she hasn't activated.
Okay.
Enemies take damage for making attacks.
Okay.
If she has activated, friendly models heal damage for making attacks.
Okay.
So she's one of those. She's going to be very, and that's goes in with your ability to pass activations. She's going to be very important when you decide to activate her, and actually the ability to potentially push her around before she's activated could be very important.
To get her that 4-inch aura.
Right, because enemies aren't going to be in it that often. However, friendlies are a little easier to get in that aura.
She also, for defense, she has a manipulative 12, which is pretty nice actually. And then
the plot is afoot.
After the opponent gains VP from a scheme, this model may discard a card to gain fast. Okay.
So not the strategy, but if one of their schemes, if they score, discard a card. So, and that's, you have your hand. So you've already done the entire turn, and you're scoring victory points. If they scored from their schemes, you get to discard one of these cards you have left with no use.
Yeah.
And she gains fast.
It's also the thing about depending where you are with Nelly. Because she... Oh, I mean...
Well, that's the thing. Her fast triggers at the end of the turn and when you're scoring.
So yeah, if you have any cards left
So
that
if
you
you
don't care about,
right.
just ditch it.
You might want to keep you might want to keep that 12 for next turn, but that 8 you're going to discard anyway.
Yeah. To get one additional AP.
Yeah, it's
late.
pretty much worth it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a mid card that you want to discard to draw something better.
Yeah.
But you are okay with it being shoveled back
or
into
if you
the
have
deck.
like a 4, and it's like, alright, well, just throw that
4 is
out.
decent enough.
Yeah. Alright, so why don't you talk about some of the attack actions?
Okay.
She has quite the list.
So, well, yeah, she's got a few
Triggers.
There's her main one. One more question. So it's casting 6, range 8, defense willpower. So target gains slow. That's the main thing. If there is a friendly guardsman within 6 of the target also suffers 1, 3, 4. So she's like, one more question to slow you. And if there's a guardsman nearby, they're like, answer her question, and beat you over the head. So that's the main thing. Now, she has a ram built in, so she always gets... how do you explain what happened in Innocence? After succeeding, the target must discard a ski marker friendly to its crew from anywhere in play. If it cannot, the target suffers 2 damage. So, we were talking about how Nellie forces you to drop ski markers, and then Allison Dade can force you to remove them. And that's built in. It's removed or you take 2 damage. Or no, you have to remove it. If you can't, you take 2 damage.
How would that interact with Ten Thunder Brother?
Ooh,
Here, actually, what about this? We're gonna do a little jump cut while we look this up, and then we'll probably be right back.
There is a little bit of a question there with the Ten Thunder Brother and their aura.
Yeah.
But, we'll move on.
Yeah, because
Since that's only the filthy Ten Thunder scum
I
that
know,
have those.
really. It's just the wording. The wording for it's really weird.
And nobody else has that. You're the only person.
I know. I just feel so clean right now.
Anyways, so she always hands out slow and the guardsman can add a little damage.
Yeah. On
the ram, she forces you to discard ski marker. On a masks, when did you first meet Tatterson Flay?
Oh wow. God.
After succeeding, push the target 5 inches away from this model. They're like, whoa!
5 inches away. Push it away.
As they do not want to talk to you anymore. Then on a tome, how long have you been in Cowie's pocket? Or Crow's. How long have you been in Crow's pocket? After succeeding, the target must discard a card. If it cannot, it suffers 2 damage. So that one is they're like, discard a card, or they suffer 2 if they have no hand. Then on a Crow, you have... What exactly is your relationship with the Widow Ferris? After succeeding, a friendly model within 5 inches of the target may push into base contact with the target. So, on that one of your friendlies can push into base contact, which may very well be that guardsman that hit them upside the head.
Or Fiona Cage.
Exactly. And they have then failed a willpower, and Fiona gets to take her extra AP, extra attack. Then her other attack action is a 0 action. Casting 6, revisited with willpower, range 8. Target model gains the following condition, under investigation. After damaging an enemy model, this model suffers 2, 3, 4 damage and may not be cheated, and this condition ends. So, that model's under investigation. If it damages another model, it takes damage and loses the condition.
Oh, okay.
And that's her 0 action. She can just say, that person's under investigation if they attack. So she could, one more question, push you into base contact with Fiona, say, here's your 0 under investigation. If you even try to attack Fiona, you're going to take some extra damage.
Okay. And if you get him down to 1 or something like that, and just...
Right, if that's like, they're on the verge, and you just throw that 0 on them, they're forced to go like, jeez, I'm going to lose this if I do anything. Do I just try to run away? And then she has a 1 tactical. Uncovering the truth. She needs casting 6, and she needs a 6 to pass. Range 8. Target a scheme marker. The opponent may reveal their control hand to you. If they do not, if there are no cards in hand, discard target scheme marker. Now, it's any scheme marker, but you're probably targeting enemies.
Yeah.
So that's another way to remove scheme markers.
Okay.
And your opponent can stop it by revealing their hand, or stupid Thunder Brother tricks.
Yeah. So okay, Allison Dade. Do you think she's an auto include?
Okay. There's.
I see some good things that she can do in other crews, but I don't think her.
So I don't think she's necessarily auto for Nelly because, push.
There are some synergies.
So okay,
and
it will depend. She is scheme and strategy dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Her ability to push models around is going to be fantastic for things like guard the stash or whatever, where you're like, no, you're going to be pushed towards me. You're going to be pushed around, so you're not useful.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull you off that roof, or I'm going to push you off the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
So she has some good uses, and especially since Nelly already has those, you don't always need it. Like you said, there are other crews that might like to take Allison Dade to gain those things that they don't normally have. So she definitely seems like while she's could be useful for the journalist, she's not automatic for sure.
Yeah. She's still a pretty good model, but I think if I'm running Nelly, Fiona's probably gonna be one of the first models I put in my pool.
Right, you'll take that over Dade most times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dade will be very interesting to see what combos pop up with her. She does have cast 6 versus willpower. Actually, the fact that she synergizes with guardsmen makes you immediately think people like McCabe and Lucius.
Mm-hmm.
So giving them some.
Yeah, actually, I see some good.
Because here's one of the things. Remember that guild hounds are guardsmen.
Oh God,
you're right. They can trigger that as she's like, one more question, and the dog's like, what? What, him? Okay.
But no.
So very, very interesting.
And then we've got into. I actually really do like these models. I saw the renders for